preferably, but whatever.
Hello, welcome to CartoonStock's caption contest. Larry Wood is in Ireland, so we just have Bob Mankoff, Joel Mishon, and the artist Nathan Cooper today.
I wouldn't say just.
Yeah, just is not the right word there.
Well, I think a lot of people are disappointed that Larry's not here.
So. The A team is what you're looking for.
Probably that I'm here also. People are also disappointed to see me.
So, Nathan, welcome. Where are you coming from? I mean, not ideologically or anything like that. We don't want to know about that, where you're coming from, because nobody wants to know about that anymore. But where are you located?
I'm in my basement and the lovely western suburbs of Philadelphia.
Oh, I see. Okay, very good. The basement looks like you got some sort of foliage there. You got plants.
Yeah, some foliage, some plastic foliage.
Yeah, to relieve the unremitting gloom of a basement. So tell it. So you're tell us a little bit about your cartooning career, and you seem refreshingly young. I'm sure that's just because I'm unrefreshingly old. That everybody seems refreshing.
That's just the filter I'm using on my camera. I'm just I'm very old. Actually.
Yeah. So tell me about your cartooning. Your cartoon. When did you start cartooning? Where do you publish? All of that.
I would say, gosh, probably since I was in high school. Like I was always into comic strips.
Yeah.
Like newspaper comic strips. I grew up with like Garfield, Calvin and Hobbes, things like that. And I got some cartoon comic strips into Mad Magazine, and once that kind of folded, that was how many years ago was that?
Yeah.
They stopped producing the monthly or bi-monthly magazine. I kind of got out of it for a little bit, and I thought, well, maybe I should try panel cartoons, just the single panel gags, and that took me a long time to figure out, because for me, the switch from comic strips to panel cartoons was really hard.
Yeah,
because in comic strips you can kind of get around to your gag, at the end of the panel 3 or panel 4, but the single panel gags took me a while to get into.
Yeah, I always felt that the comic strips were just dragging it out.
Yeah,
they should get to the for the most part.
Yeah.
So, why don't you pop up through CartoonStock a little
I have
a screenshot of Nathan's cartoons, because they have a very distinctive, pleasant look.
Absolutely, I have one here. These are ones that actually Bob had selected for airmail. Again, it's funny that my name is Cliff, but when you say ironic, you actually want to use coincidental. This is a fun.
That's what we call a sophisticated gag.
Yes. I actually pulled up his airmail ones here, So actually, this is good for our conversation here. Oh, Jeff, you swore this wasn't a podcast. Nice dinner.
Great. It's a wonderful style.
It
really is very, very pleasant, direct, to the point. Not overdrawn, not underdrawn. Really, just right, like
Goldilocks,
a chef's kiss, if you will, for our.
Was there any kissing ones? I don't know if there was a chef's kiss.
No, there wasn't, but there were there
were some ruder ones, Trevor.
Yes. Well, should we get to that?
Let's get to it, because I all my picks have some very strict criteria based on.
Oh, not again, Bob. Not again.
Last conversation.
Not again.
Okay. So that's a lovely drawing, great color.
Yeah, great drawing, great coloring. A woman seems sort of shocked, not like, being accosted, but, surprised to see two chefs at the door. Clearly one is talking of the two. And they do look like identical twins. And then yeah, that's about it. There's a 3-legged table, which is
Oh yeah, that's
an
interesting.
odd detail for a table, but maybe that had to call out to the 3 people that are there. And yeah,
Subliminal.
Well,
Yeah.
this is really close reading of a cartoon.
well, you're the one who had the bobble hooks
That's
last
good.
time, Bob, that we went out for.
Okay, well, the thing is, I think it's an adorable lamp.
Yes.
I was going for the '80s aesthetic there.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
I'm glad somebody appreciated that
Yeah,
lamp.
no,
Thank you.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward cartoon. Nothing.
Well, wait a second. Bob seems to think there's going to be. Well, okay.
No, look, I'm going to tell you the important thing is the 2 chefs. Any caption which only could work for one chef does not work for me. There's an incongruity here. There's more than one chef.
Yeah.
If you're just borrowing a cup of whatever, it can be very funny that it's an emollient diffusion. It's a great line, but it could be with one chef. So all of my cartoons were based on that criteria, that it had to recognize that there were 2 chefs.
I also tried to consider. I mean, there's a lot of jokes. The classic religious groups knocking on the door. There would be multiple people. They do talk to you. That addresses the cartoon. It doesn't always solve the problem addressed here, which is that there are 2 chefs. But there were,
Well, also it's the fact that they're right. It's the fact that they're 2. And there is this trope of the missionaries or the religious people, and that's just funny in and of itself to see them in this. I mean, there's got to be some suspension of disbelief, but so that was my criteria, based also on the last rather fractious argument that we had about the pirates and the.
And then I think all religion kind of doesn't shut up and talks about it all the time, but I think specifically Jehovah's Witnesses are the main trope for coming door to door.
Right, the main trope, and the fact that.
Sorry, Nathan, if you're
about 20% of the captions involve that.
Yes.
Shows that that's how people sort of felt about it. So there was domestic relationships that they're there because their family requested it. There's food metaphors, there's the religious, there's social media. So that's how it broke down. And that's the interesting thing, Nathan, in general, I think, about caption contests, whether it's the New Yorker or this, is that this is all done independently, and we had 400 captions, but you don't have 400 different captions. You actually have very few basic jokes. And then it's deciding among, let's say, all the religious ones, which one you think is best.
I won't bring it up now, but just as a heads up, Nathan's original caption had more to do with the what most of our entries had, versus solving the problem of 2 chefs. But
can I?
For me, that was the problem to solve, was the 2 chefs. Go ahead, Joe.
But in the same way that you normally get more than one Jehovah's Witness, there was one of the other tropes, or whatever you want to call them, for the jokes was, can Johnny come out and play? And that, again, you would expect more than one child at the door, I would say. So I think that's sort of...
And I picked one. Then we had to decide whether can Johnny come out and saute? Can Johnny come out and
and then there were
Johnny come out and play? Can Joe come out and cook?
We'll get over to the captions now, but I will say this. I have to be very careful when we choose a winner, because we got more duplicate captions for this than I think we ever have had for any other before. I did see a lot.
Yeah, there were
duplicates.
There were several that were very close to what I had, and I couldn't have those all in my top 10, so I apologize to the people who I had to cut. But
that's actually a new question. I don't think we've ever asked an artist if they just choose the ones that are most similar to their original caption, but maybe that is what's happened. That's what happened.
Probably because we had a decent caption. Most of the time, the artist's caption is terrible. But
all right, so here, actually, you know what? I'll go back and I'll share, because I do have them all on the cartoon. So let's look.
Normally at this point you say, Trevor, well, this week we had X amount of coincidence or alignment. Is this a good week or a bad week for alignment?
This week was very 7. So we have to pick 6 winners with 1 grand. So it's we're pretty close. Although I think some are too similar, so I think we'll have to change them up. But here are the 7 that we had, at least with us and the top 10 had in common.
Okay.
We're here to save your soul.
Oh God, that's
a lot of variations of this one. This one is obviously the pun of the religious in fish, soul in a fish. I don't know what they call soul in Britain, Joel. They all have different names over there. But.
No, same thing. Okay.
So this was good. I thought there was, because the very first association you have is about broth and them spoiling the broth. There's lots of that, but I love something where then you're thinking of that association, that it's not mentioned. Okay, so I thought this is that applies to cooks, we're chefs, and so yeah.
Can Johnny come out and saute? A million variations of this.
Yeah.
This was actually probably the best one of all of those.
Yeah, there was saute, flay, and that was like trying to make a saute, flay, and fillet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, right. And so
we'd like to propose a meringue à trois.
Yes.
Menage.
No,
I thought that was
it's not menage. This is meringue.
That was the best wordplay.
This is another wordplay for meringue, obviously, instead of menage. Yeah. I do. This solves the 3 people problem. So you give it credit for that.
Yeah.
There was another. You can Google this at home, but there was another one about spit roasting.
It's on my list. Well, not on my
list. Okay.
No. I had a.
Don't mention the grind one.
No, that would. Lawrence would have put that one. He wouldn't have it. When you sent your compliments, were they for me or him? I like this one a lot. This was mine.
Okay, so those are all, once again, that looked at the fact that there were 2.
This is if you got compliments to my chef and they bothers them all night and they follow the person home for the answer. I think this really solved the issue and is funny. We're chefs without restaurants. It's a doctors without borders sort of play.
I must say that in fact all of these are mine.
You've been served. There were a lot of variations on like serving papers or mobster collecting, etc. This one actually appeared several times directly exact as other entries. So we'll have, if this is a finalist, you have to give me a minute to figure out who did this one. So those are the 7 that we've had in common.
Okay.
I think everyone groaned very loudly with "We're here to save your soul."
Oh, that's no good.
I don't know if we want to have. We already have a terrible pun with meringue.
But that
solves. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's a couple of things. It's also funny. It's partly sexual in the background. Okay, so it's got a little stuff that raises the temperature a little bit. Everything that goes into a joke, there's so many things. I mean, it's funny. When you look at something and say, why is this funny? Well, it's funny to start with. It's a cartoon. And the way you drew it is funny. Everything is, this could be drawn in a lot of ways in which whatever the caption was, it would be a little bit less funny. I think with this kind of gag where it's sort of straightforward, it's pretty much going to work. But I think the way Nathan draws also makes it, light and interesting.
Yeah. So we're tossing soul.
Well, I mean, can we leave it? Can we argue about this a bit later? Because
that's fine. Yeah. Absolutely. I was just.
To me, Joel.
Pardon? Yes, Bob.
You talking to me?
Soul.
All right. Yeah, it's okay.
Right. Here's my little master list.
I think a lot of my picks were pun heavy. I think I may have gone too heavy on the puns. I don't know.
It's okay. It's all right. Absolutely. So here we I guess we can start with I'll go first here. We'll start in order. Which ones here were my favorites? Actually, we want to talk about Jesus, but no one answers the door when we're wearing our missionary outfits.
Too long.
Too long.
Before we begin, the safe word is Google. It's another sexual one that satisfies the three people. Nothing bad has come from having too many cooks. This is a terrible pun. Our savior has never been savorier. That's a better pun than the soul one.
Yeah, I didn't even see that, but that is making me laugh. And,
Try to
That's a low bar.
Savory. We heard your kitchen needed more cooks. Another kind of pun. We serve and collect, the mobster angle. We understand you have a double oven. Double ovens actually kind of piss me off when I see them in homes. So, and it does solve the problem with the double oven. I did have this one, Chefs Without Restaurants, and this was by far my favorite. When you sent your compliments, were they for me or for him? So I got 3 in there, and my favorites in there. So I'm happy with the way mine landed. I don't need more.
okay.
So Nathan, basically, if you haven't watched these videos, this is your chance to kind of talk about any of yours, and if you want to include one, this is definitely the time to say that you have one you want to have to deliberate for.
The one I really like, we don't have an actual Michelin star. It's more of an asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty clever. I don't know. The one, I don't know if I don't know if you guys had the one, we're promoting our Three Brothers restaurant and we're also looking for our brother. I thought that was so far out of left field and unique that I just had to keep it in there.
I actually find that one very funny. That one I actually do. I don't know if I read that with as much joy when I first, but now this one,
Yeah.
we'll say your asterisk one, it could have been in a lot of other drawings. And I did think it was a very clever one, but I was like, it doesn't have to be this drawing at all.
I think Nathan's the left field one isn't. It's taking a completely different angle and a completely different kind of way of being funny.
Yeah.
With this, so we can give him that.
I think this one's great. Yeah. I think we're promoting our Three Brothers restaurant and also looking for our brother.
Yeah, I agree.
This is more like a political negotiation.
We only have one cranky person instead of Lawrence just being like, I hate that one.
Yeah. But yeah, there were a lot with cheese and a lot with rice, and there was a lot of variations on that.
I will say this: my unofficial worst pun is this one. I'm sorry we didn't come early. We ran out of time. That makes me want to bash my face in my desk.
I didn't even think about all the different puns I could have used like that. I didn't even think about time. I didn't even think about gourd or soul,
Well,
I didn't even think about any of it.
I think that's one of the interesting things about crowdsourcing, which I do think shows a cartoonist or anyone like when I looked at this and maybe I had some ideas, the crowdsource is very creative. All the different ideas that that have come up with that no single person would come up with. Absolutely. And while the idea has become very precious in panel cartooning through the New Yorker, that it's this single idea, it's a single artist who comes up with it. In most of comedy, and in most of the best comedy that's created, whether it's in sitcoms or anything else, of course, it's a writer's room, right? It's crowdsourcing. It's many different people pitching more. You would never have like a single writer on a sitcom. You would never have a single writer, doing just saying late night now makes me a little nervous or unhappy, for that. So I do think you just see that the crowd has, many interesting ideas.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like the comment section. There's always somebody who has a good witty comment in there somewhere.
Yeah, and definitely there were. It's sort of an interesting thought experiment that whatever cartoon that you saw in the New Yorker or any place else, even if you liked it, there's a better caption out there somewhere. Even if you liked it, if enough people saw that, there would be a better caption. Of course, what I mean, what a cartoonist do or any other cartoonist has authenticity over time. It's your particular voice, and that becomes interesting. All right.
All right, I will move on to Bob.
Okay, so Meringue à Trois, that's a good one. Chefs Without Restaurants does. I would have. I think it would have been better if we're from chefs. Wouldn't it be a little bit better if it was from rather than with? Because that's more.
We're with Chefs Without Restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works. Of all the missionary ones, I liked "Have You Smelled the Good News" because it's just.
Yeah, that's it. That's actually a really good one.
Once again, it doesn't. A lot of them, the Jehovah's Witness, spell it all out and talk about it. So I would. That's the only one. If I would get one, and by rights I should get two, but forget that. Put that aside. I want. Have You Smelled the Good News? Yeah. And we actually have a lot of overlap, really, here. Have you smelled the good news?
That's.
But I'll just say why I picked the higher cuisine is okay. That applied to cooks. We're chefs. We're here. I'm just once again trying to explain why the two of them are there. And compliments. And then I don't know. I wanted something a little bit out of left field also. And so for me, the two were: please stop putting your missing cat flyers around our restaurant.
Yeah, I like that one as well.
Because that's like a whole different. Once again, you have to think. You have to complete what is this about? It's about, of course, that the people think that they're serving the cats. So you have to make a whole extra step to why does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But
you have the other one, and then one quick note, because we didn't really talk about it. The Doctors Without Borders is obviously conflict zones, humanitarian. There's no hospital to go to, so it's such a mean dig that her cooking is so bad that they're there. Like that is a one part about that one.
Well,
just in case people aren't familiar with Doctors Without Borders, I actually had to look up a handful of French words for this one, but just some background there.
So, I think the Chefs Without Borders one is kind of elevated over a lot of the other ones that were like, your husband called us here or your family called us. There were several of them.
It's very mean. It's the meanest one about her cooking in a way. Then your family begged for us to come.
But wait a second. That doesn't necessarily have to be mean. They don't have a restaurant.
No, that's not.
I guess what you're saying is that the doctors go where there are no doctors.
The doctors go where they're desperately needed. The doctors go,
but it's better than we're here on your family's request or husband sent us.
Doctors Without Borders is essentially like FEMA coming to help you cook a meal. Or it's not. I mean, obviously not like that, but it's in that vein versus the others.
But there were none. But it also. Another criteria is sometimes just how unusual. I don't think there was any other one like that.
No.
Okay, so
I just wanted to explain that one in case there were people who were like, they just don't have it was not as simple. Not that I think it's the best one.
I mean, in case there are really dumb people listening.
Like I said, I Googled several French words while putting mine together. And, all right, Joel, let's see what you got.
Okay, so I've been shot down before I started with my first one because Bob was addicted.
I will give it credit. I had that because I very much like white truffle.
Yeah, there were lots of this format joke, and this was the best of them.
There were a lot of other things. We're here for a gallon of sugar. We're here for, a cup of something, but it doesn't have any of that kind of bounce to it. So it is good. I mean, I think it is good, except for the criteria.
Yeah. So the second one is on the list anyway. The saute one is there. The that applies to Cooks We're Chef. I think that's there as well. And then the soul one, the the reason why I said don't get rid of it now is because there was another Soul, exactly the same Soul joke, but much more wordy that I thought was interesting, where it said, "We're missionaries from the Latter-day Saints, full stop. May we talk to you a bit about your fillet of soul?" And I'm just confused why they just didn't just have a personal edit and remove the first part, because it's unnecessary. It's quite clear that maybe talk to you a bit about your fillet of soul, or filet of soul if you're American. What you say? Do you say fillet or fillet? I don't know.
Fillet. It's another French word. Yeah, we're missionaries of Latter-day Saints, so we talk about, and they're written by two different people. Yeah, the fillet part you don't need. Maybe they were just thinking of a dish. Or the Latter-day Saints are the ones where like there was an eighth day or something. I forget.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so I just thought it was interesting that there were different ways of saying the same thing, and then I suppose I had another take on the too many cooks joke, which is, what would you would you say we're too many or a reasonable amount, which is another version of the.
That's a good one. Yeah, that one.
I mean, that's interesting. It's a little bit more meta, right?
I like
Yeah,
that a lot.
you have to reach for it a little bit further, I think.
Joel, do you have one you want to add? I would add that one, I think.
Yeah, I think I would probably add that one. Yeah, it's better than the sort of slightly more on the nose one.
All right, so now we're just getting more. All right, so now our wonderful public. We're here at the request of your family. These are actually in order. We're here at the request of your family.
Can I just say that is bad? There's not really a joke there in my head. That's just.
Well, they're there. Mom's cooking sucks. Your mother-in-law sent us.
Same joke.
You've been served. I'm sure your mother-in-law exaggerated, but could we see you boil water? Your husband sent us. You own the restaurant. You can't quit. When you said compliments to the chef, which one of us did you mean? I like that one. We're here to collect the dough. Another mobster one, I know. Well, we're with Chefs Without Restaurants. We refer to it as a culinary intervention. So I'm not going to fight for any of the public ones.
No, so we already have sort of some sort of overlap, right? I mean,
no, we definitely have an overlap with them. I absolutely. I am tempted, Joel, just to knock out the soul one now that we have so many.
Yeah, no, now I've talked about it and go. I'm happy.
You've been served doesn't really solve any of the things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pun on served, and somehow
maybe.
Well, really.
Yeah, maybe if they were holding something.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had a piece of paper or something.
Yeah, if it could have been like somehow like a cake with papers or with a divorce papers or something. I don't know, but yeah, it could have been done in a way. All right, I just
there's some sort of clash there where it just doesn't. Obviously, none of these make sense in some way, but there's some thing of you've been. Here's the problem, I think. You have an explanation, okay, we're Chefs Without Restaurants. Then there's which is sort of negative, something bad is happening, something negative about her. You've been served is like, oh, that's a bad thing. You've been served, it's a law thing. But if let's say they had a cake then, that would be a good thing. So it just clashes. I mean, it's hard to say what happens in your mind where it just doesn't, where you don't feel it clicks, like you've been served. Yeah, okay, you're served, in terms of the law, and you're served in terms of a restaurant where you get something that's good. So I don't know. That's why it just doesn't work.
Anyone have any that they kind of want to knock out or talk about?
Well, where is this the one? Don't you show them on the?
Well, I can show them on the cartoon, or if there's one you want to knock out, or I can put them on the cartoon. I just looked at all of the ones that have the come out. Can someone come out and play trope? I'll quickly read them. Can Johnny come out and saute? There were two of those. Can Tommy come out to fillet? Can Joey come out and cook? Can your husband come out and souffle? Can Timmy come out and flay? Can your husband, and then can your husband come out and play, which doesn't address it at all. There's no cooking, no. So anyway, those are all the ones that had that variation of a child knocking on.
Well, I think there should be one of those, and I think it's
yeah, I think that's the okay. This is card. We have. I guess we can see them on the cartoons to get to on the cartoon.
I'm not a big fan of that applies to cooks. We're chefs. I don't quite understand that one.
I actually also agree.
Well, if too many cooks spoil the broth, these are chefs. So what she has said, she said something like too many cooks spoil the broth, and they have responded.
I don't find that as a laugh out joke, but I understand. We'll keep it for a little.
Does that mean that? But there's the other version of that is would you say we're too many or a reasonable amount, which is playing on the same thing?
Yeah, I think that's a better caption than
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one better, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Joel's rare win. No, I'm kidding.
I'm savoring it, Bob.
I'm gonna
Lawrence. Hey, yeah, thanks for joining. Look, Joel, a caption, and I understand. I can do nothing about it. You're not here.
All right, I'm almost done. And this one is so zany. I'll get this one in here. This is actually a rare instance where the ones that no, it's not that rare, but the ones that we fought for are actually all pretty funny. All right, so here is what we are looking at.
I don't know if you want to go through at the moment, but was it you that liked when you sent your compliments? Were they for me or him? Because I find that just a bit. I can't. If we were going to knock anything out early, that would be my choice to knock out. But if everyone feels strongly that it's hilarious, we can keep it.
I would knock out Gote. I don't know. I'm not, because I'm not a big fan of pun jokes. If possible, I like idea jokes. But let's have Joel have his way here, because then Lawrence will be back. And
it would be nice to annoy Lawrence in his absence. So I'm very happy to. But anyway, maybe we'll just go through them in the normal way. So this one's really good. I really like this one.
All right, yeah. So let's go. So I think, So we just making sure. All right, we have 7.
So we're only going to get rid of one.
We need to knock out one and pick a grand prize winner. All right, so here
this is a big contender for me at the moment. I think this is really good.
We're promoting our Three Brothers restaurant, and we're also looking for our brother.
Yeah, I think that's the funniest. So don't knock this out. I want one. We need a mission. We need one Jehovah's Witness.
Have you smelled the good news?
Okay.
Can Johnny come out and saute?
Okay.
It looks like a cartoon, that one. We'd like to propose a meringue à trois. When you sent your compliments, were they for me or him?
So now we have 7?
Yeah. We're with chefs. Let's go through them all, though, Bob. I put them all in here.
All right.
Come on. We're with Chefs Without Restaurants. Would you say we're too many or a reasonable amount? My personal least favorite are probably Chefs Without Restaurants or the meringue à trois. But those are my.
We have to keep Chefs Without Restaurants, so we could knock out.
So you want to? I just think the best. I personal favorite is were they for me or him? I don't want to knock that out. I'm surprised that won't be the grand prize winner, but I understand.
What's that?
No, the were they for me or for him?
The compliments one.
Yeah, we're promoting our Three Brothers restaurant. So we got to knock out one here before we decide our favorite.
You can knock out the meringue.
The meringue à trois?
Yeah. Sorry, who's ever done that. You were so close to that money, you could smell it. You could smell the good news.
I think maybe that. I
Yeah.
think the meringue etoile was probably the most clever of the puns because
Wait a second.
I,
Then let's keep it. Let's knock out the. Can Johnny come out and saute? Because I think the meringue etoile is, first of all, it's unique among the wordplay. The other ones are absolutely not. Can Johnny come out? Can Johnny come out? Can Joe come out? Okay, so let's knock out that one and keep in the meringue. Of course, Nathan, weighed in on that.
Okay, yeah, they're also tight for me. The biggest reason I would keep this one in is to have one of the ones about the boys wanting to play, but we don't need to keep it in just for the sake of clicking that trope. So
Yeah.
all right. So
Okay.
gone.
I'd
like to know the people who watch this live.
But then think how happy the other people are who did have the different ones of Can Johnny come out.
Maybe if we could figure out our 6 finalists and somehow have them muted on video at the bottom, and then
it'd be like a game show.
Yeah. I'm actually in favor of that if they would do that. Like if one of yours is a finalist, will you sit there quietly on video and we can dissect it in front of you?
Okay, so now we're down to.
All right, so we'll quickly go through our 6 finalists. We're promoting our 3 brothers restaurant, and we're also looking for our brother.
Yeah, it's good.
Have you smelled the good news? You can kind of imagine how he's talking about that. He's like, "My brother, have you smelled the good news?" We'd like to propose a meringue etoile. That one's not going to win.
No,
it fits. When you sent your compliments, were they for me or him?
Okay.
We're with Chefs Without Restaurants.
That's good.
Would you say we're too many or a reasonable amount? I actually like this one or the brothers one, maybe.
I think the brothers one is the loopiest and still actually funny.
I agree.
So you think brothers?
Yeah, brothers.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Yeah, it's definitely a zany one.
Are you happy, Nathan? Well, this is the one you shoehorned in at the end, wasn't it? So you should be very happy.
I like that one. I like the Chefs Without Borders. I think is that one's growing on me. I like that more and more.
Yeah, I mean.
So you know what? Let's let Nathan pick. So let's make that. This is. You see, this people is how the sausage is made. And
so
I think that should have been one in there. I think we'll show you how the sausage is made.
Yeah. That would be such an awkward, confusing one. I would
okay, so
wait, what's the answer?
Chefs Without Borders. It was like down to the wire. It was anybody who thinks it's a deterministic universe and it's all decided at the beginning is just wrong. You can see that here. It could have gone either way. And you know what changed it? A butterfly flapping its wings in the Bahamas.
Yes.
That's what changed this caption.
The butterfly effect.
Everything was going absolutely right for the brothers. A butterfly flapped its wings, and Chefs snuck in there.
All right.
Okay, it's going to be Chefs, and let's find out who.
All right,
when do we find out what Nathan's caption is?
Well, I'll read you the winners, then we'll hear Nathan. Okay. All right, little drum roll. We're with Chefs Without Restaurants. Patrick Foley. Nice. First-time person. Well done, Patrick. It was always good to see a first-time person.
Well done, Patrick.
$500, that's outrageous.
I know, we have to change it.
We have to change that.
That's why we'll have their faces, and then we can capture
the honor. It should just be the honor of it.
Have you smelled the good news? Russell Nichols.
Don't recognize that.
Here's the person who thought they win but did not. We're promoting our 3 brothers restaurant, and we're also looking for our brother, Charles Ingwerson. Oh, sorry, Charles. He's won before, so he can. You can come back again after you already won. Wow.
this could be a real money-making
Yeah,
scam for
no, really,
somebody.
some people are really like feeding at the trough of cartoon stocks.
Right, exactly. All right, so this one's interesting. 4 people made variation of this, but when you sent your compliments, were they for me or for him? Preston Williams. We'll give a quick shout out for just wanted to confirm which chef the compliments were for. And when you said compliments to the chef, which one of us did you mean? Were others, but obviously the superior one is the one by Preston Williams.
That's great.
And then a couple more. Sorry, guys. We'd like to propose a meringue à trois. Paul Nestia, congratulations.
Oh God, he pretty much wins every week.
Which one? And then what are we? What do we have? Chefs without.
We never look at who submits. We have to start looking so we can prevent Paul getting any more of our money.
Yeah, I know. Paul, I'm surprised he can move with all the money in his house. We're with Chefs Without Restaurants. That's the one that won. I'm sorry. And then is that all 3? Yeah. Or too many or a reasonable amount. I'm sorry. The last one is. I didn't. Yeah, Charles Ingerson actually did win. So he was. Yeah, Charles Ingerson. So we got 2, I think, by Charles. So.
Okay.
Congratulations, everybody. And Nathan, can you please tell us your original caption?
What was it? I forget now.
You sent it to me. I can tell you if you want.
you have to remind me. It was a terrible pun. That's all I remember.
Yeah, so you did send it to me.
I'd say we're
well, this is, and I think most people who watch this know that what we choose are just interesting drawings, but failed cartoons because of caption issues. So it's very normal to not love your original caption. Do you have a moment to talk about cheese and rice?
And there were several entries with that theme also.
Rice and beans. Yeah.
So I mean, so they were missionaries in your. So in terms of how this formed and how you created it. So this is like the classic question: were you doodling with the chefs? Did you have the idea first? How did you come up with your caption? How did you come up with this cartoon?
I was probably the caption first. I think I typically tend to work the caption first, and then draw a second. It was just my own words like that.
You wouldn't have. But while you might not have drawn it, you must have had an image in your mind, because the caption, you must have sort of. So there are people where it's like a middle ground. There are some people who doodle or actually, drawing and then come to it. But another way is, I see the image, and then that comes with the caption. And so not strictly just writing. I mean, some people, Matt Dippy, someone would often, just write phrases.
Yes, in this sense, in this cartoon, it's kind of in between, into the middle ground there somewhere.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, thank you. Congratulations, Patrick. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks. And we have a new contest with another Nathan coming up next week.